Yo, what's good? We are back on a fine Thursday evening. Damage Per Second podcast. That's DPS podcast episode 162. And I am your host, SloMo Backslap, with my co-host, Gaming Forte. What's up, Forte?
What it do? Second podcast of the new year, man. A lot of crazy stuff. For it to be the beginning of a year, it's a lot of silliness going on in gaming right now, especially when it comes to the communities. But we'll talk about that. But no, other than that, it's been great, man. Just working, happy to be back to the regular scheduled, work schedule and stuff, and not being mad that we got extended hours and people getting on my nerves about buying stuff that they thought they could bring back open that they can't.
Interesting. Yeah, it sounds like the same old, man. I want to shout out to people in the chat. And shout out Big Mike for being first here in the chat. I actually saw when Mike sent that message. That was literally like 30 minutes ago. So shout out to Big Mike. Shout out to Web Dave in the house. How's it going, Dave? Spider 13, J0387, and Truth Serum so far here in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Mike says tap the like button, share out the stream. We will appreciate you if you do. That would be awesome. But let's go ahead and just start to get into it. If you see the gameplay, it's on the screen right now.
I was just about to ask you, is this Prince of Persia?
It is Prince of Persia. It is, and it is pretty good. Look, I'm not even a side scroller dude, but say what?
Ubisoft Play?
Ubisoft Plus, you mean? The subscription service? Yeah.
Plus, not Play, Plus.
But this is just the demo. The demo is free. So you can just, even if you don't have Ubisoft Plus, you don't have to buy it. You can just try out the demo, which I think is pretty confident of Ubisoft. And I understand it because I think the game's already pretty good. I'm not much of a side scroller dude, but I like this one. I like the style of it. And everything is it's pretty. It's just a solid side scroller. Action is solid. Controls are really like responsive. I like the story so far. I'm digging it. So I'll definitely be playing this one when the full release hits. I can't remember what date. I think it may be the 15th, I believe. Maybe it's a day next week or something.
16th.
Okay, 16. I wonder if there's an early access or something. I don't know for certain, but it's a pretty good game. Are you gonna play it?
Yep. When I saw the the redesign of it, I was like, oh yeah. And I always liked Prince of Persia, so this is kind of giving me those vibes of the traditional ones and stuff. And I never really had a problem with side scrolling. It's just, I think a lot of people just aren't really used to playing side scrollers because everything is in 3D now. And this is still technically a 3D side scroller, but it looks good. And I'm really interested to see the improvements they kind of made to the original formula.
Yeah. Everything is voice acted. And look, you can look at my gameplay and be like, yo, what the heck is SloMo do? Look, I don't play too many side scrollers, okay? So like some stuff that's just like basic stuff y'all know to do. I'm just kind of like, where am I supposed to be going? But I do I do appreciate some of the elements that they have in there. Like there's this whole thing with memory shards where you can kind of like, you look at the map and you can look at what places you've been and you can see a picture of that place to kind of give you an idea of where it is in case you get lost, that kind of stuff. It's a pretty dope game. I like it so far. What's up? Fonz in the house. J Fonzarelli, Fonz Gaming in the house. What's up, Fonz? And Erodimus.
You were definitely lost during that part.
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet, bruh.
Go up.
Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet, man. I definitely I'm not the side scroller guy. Okay, so look, I'm feeling my way through, but it's all right. I appreciate the work Ubisoft put in, and I just kind of hope that the remake of Sands of Time is created with as much care as this is. Although different studios under Ubisoft. Who knows exactly how that'll turn out. Anywho, Forte, what you been up to? What you been playing, man?
Oh man, playing Battlefield. I played a little Call of Duty last week. I jumped into Halo for a second just to see.
You jumped into Halo and didn't come get me. What is
I mean, listen, you were not feeling well, so I didn't want to bug you.
Oh, okay.
It didn't entice you with, entice you with jumping on a video game and then and then you be like, man, I'll play. Then I feel all bad that you all up and playing a video game when you should be in the bed sleeping. But I'll hit you up next time I play. I just jumped on for it was like an hour. It was actually fun. It's been a while since I jumped in there and played. I played some ranked matches and did pretty good. But it's definitely, you can definitely see it's a sweat fest over there because that's all the only people playing that game are the hardcore. Literally.
Of course.
That's all that's playing that game. But been playing that. Before I go any further, I have this drink here, and you can't see it because we're not on camera.
Are we doing Hold on, are we doing advertisements? Whoever gave you that drink didn't pay us, so don't be saying no names.
No, I'm not saying no names. I'm just pouring out a drink, pouring out some drinks.
Unnamed drink.
An unnamed drink. To three of the oldest effers that ever coached in college or NFL. They all retired on the same day. Shout out to those dudes.
Bill Belichick.
Shout out to Bill Belichick. Shout out to
Nick Saban,
and shout out to Pete Carroll. They all decided to hang it up at the same exact time, and that's really, really cool. But that's all I want, because I don't want to turn this to no sports thing. But
thank you.
Yeah. But that's all. But that's all I kind of been doing is just working, playing video games, and I put up a YouTube video last week, and been diving down the gauntlet of college and NFL football. That's kind of been me for the last couple of weeks. It kind of gets like that with me around January because that's kind of all I want to do is just pay attention to that stuff. But outside of that, man, it's just been a good start to the brand new year, and looking forward to a lot of the stuff that's coming out in gaming over the next couple of weeks. That's it, though. What about you? What you been playing, other than Prince of Persia beta gameplay or demos?
Well, I mean, I've been playing more of the finals, and I'm not frustrated, but it's been a lot of like they keep making all these little tiny changes to the gameplay that is really kind of upsetting the meta. So I feel like I can't keep up. It's just like they made a change with the heavy and medium builds where they slowed them down because they were too fast, which it made sense to me. But then then they made another change to aim assist today. And it's just I feel like every time I play, there's I gotta get adjusted to something new they did. But I've been playing that. I beat Crisis Core earlier this week. Okay. Was it this week? Yeah. It had
to be this week because we talked about it a little bit last week.
Right. So I beat Crisis Core Reunion. Zach's a beast. The dialogue for Zach, not a beast, but I enjoyed the game, and now I'm on to Final Fantasy VII Remake for the third or fourth time.
On which platform, sir?
On PC, of course. I'm playing with mods. It's great. I got Barrett looking like the Master Chief. I got Cloud wearing his Advent Children outfit from the Final Fantasy Advent Children movie. I got Tifa wearing her purple dress from the Cornell Mansion. I got what else? I got Aerith looking like Sailor Moon. It's funny, I like that. It's just a little added, thing to.
You post pictures of this.
Yeah. So I got pictures on Twitter. It's just a little added thing to a game I've played already to kind of keep things fresh while also just enjoying the awesome combat of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So and I'm streaming it too on the DPS channel. So what you'll see is those streams throughout the next month or two as I go through Remake and Intermission on into Rebirth. I'm probably not going to stream Rebirth immediately because like the way I play games, it's probably not going to be very enjoyable when I'm playing it for the first time. But when I do my second run, my New Game Plus run, I'm definitely going to stream that one. But no, I've been playing that, and this is what I wanted to play, the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink demo, but it's not available in my region yet. I keep checking PlayStation 5 and it's just not showing up. So I think probably I'll give it another try at midnight. Hopefully I'll have some gameplay for that next time I'm hosting again. But I mean, other than that, again, just playing the same old games. You already said what you were playing. You ready to get into this, or anything else you want to get off your chest before we start these topics up?
I want to get off my chest that you're an amazing person. There you go. Let's go.
Oh,
God, you sound like my kid.
Thank you. You know, that really
you
touched
just
me.
gave me that's like the puss in butt boost, like
what?
You just gave me. He's like, oh, my eyes just glazed over.
I thought you was going. I thought you was going somewhere else with that for a moment. So I'm glad you said your full statement before. That got really awkward.
No. You got a dirty mind. I just want you to know that.
I do, Forte.
You thought I was going to say something that I didn't even say.
Seriously, come on. I have a dirty mind. We don't. I know you're right. Okay. Anyway, look, let's just.
I didn't say my mind ain't dirty. I just said you're just right there with me. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, let's get into this first topic. And this first topic is about, look, we're gonna get a little PC stuff out the way. I know some of you console guys gonna be like, ew, PC, I don't care.
They're gonna be PC gamers in a minute.
Hey, let's talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Nvidia CES is this week, and CES typically has a lot of like PC manufacturers of like CPU coolers, Intel and AMD with CPUs, and Nvidia with GPUs, basically PC component parts as well as like monitors and stuff like that. They show off what they are dropping for the next year. It's like, for that market, it's like their E3 for trying to make it make sense for the console gamers. And they got a lot of good stuff they're showing. They're showing 4K monitors that do 240 hertz refresh rates. They got all kinds of great stuff. But also what we want to talk about specifically is the great stuff that Nvidia is showing. So we've been hearing rumors about this for a few months now, but it's officially official that Nvidia is doing a refresh on their 40 series RTX series. And so that would be the RTX 4080 Super. That's going to be the RTX 4070 Ti Super and the 4070 Super. And their prices is for the 4080 Super $1,000, which is still not great. It's better than the outrageous price of $1,200 that they had for the 4080, but it's still not good. But it's better than before. And what we hope that the Super is actually performance-wise better than the 4080. Of course, in their marketing, they didn't speak about any comparison to the actual 4080 whatsoever. So I'm thinking a very marginal upgrade, but for the $200 less, at least that's something, right? It's not great, but it's something. The 4070 Ti Super, which isn't getting a reference card, unfortunately, is $800, and I believe they said that one is faster than, like 2 times faster than the, what is this? Yeah, there we go. There's 2.5 times faster than the 3070 Ti, and that was also going to have 16 gigs of VRAM. And then there is the 4070 Super, which is at $600. And I think probably will be the one that will sell the most. Now, the releases of those next week, the 4070 Super will be released on the 17th, which is Wednesday. And a week later, the 4070 Ti would be released, and then a week after that, on the 31st, would be the 4080 Super. Forte, are you getting any of these cards?
I was thinking about the 4080 Super because the $1,000 sounds a lot better than $1,200 to $1,300. But I'm also thinking, should I just wait till the 5000 series comes out
In another year? It's gonna be another year.
That's what I'm kind of thinking. Now, I guess it really comes down to what game. Well, I already know kind of what games are coming this year, at least from a third party perspective. It mostly just comes down to what first party stuff comes in, what the overall what's names for those are going to be. The performance guidelines are going to be.
Players asking us, what do we have right now? Player, I have a 3080 Ti right now, and Forza, you have a 3070 Ti, right?
A 3070 Ti, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got an 8 gig VRAM card. I got a 12 gig VRAM card.
Yeah, so it's like I'm on the cuffs of needing one because everything's starting to jump up to 16 gigs.
Yeah, 8 gig is not enough anymore. Yeah,
it's not enough anymore. But it's like, do I jump this generation with a 4080 Super, or do I wait and get the big jump with the 5th gen when it comes out? So, but I also think if you go with the 4080, then you'll just kind of skip over the 5th gen, because I do think the 4080 Super is a more compelling price point. And it's kind of the same thing I did with the 2080 Super, because if it wasn't for the fact that my 1080 Ti went out on me, I would have skipped the 2080 Super and went straight to the 3000 series. But I ended up with a 2080 Super, and that card actually did me very, very well up until I got the 3070. And the 3070 wasn't even on my radar. I just happened to find one that was at retail price during the COVID series, and I was able to get it. So I was like, you know what, let me pick it up now why it was so cheap, why it was not extraordinarily overpriced. So I think that's kind of where I'm looking at. It really just comes down, if there's a game that's going to push my system over the course of 2024 where I really, really need to get it, I'll do it. But I'm kind of going to play it by ear that way. Because if I can wait till next year, because, that's when they'll probably announce it during CES of next year, which is in January. If I can make it till then I'll be good. But if I can't, then I'll just get a 4080 Super, and then I'll just sit on that for 2 years and wait for the, whatever the next card after that comes out, or until they come out with another refresh. Another refresh of the 5 series like they're doing with this. So they come out with because normally they'll come out with the TI versions and stuff. I'm surprised they didn't do a TI version of the 4080, but I guess they kind of screwed themselves with the whole naming convention the first time around, and nobody's going to buy a 4080 TI from them because they're like, we don't even know if that's a real 4080.
Right. Yeah, because they got caught with that one, which is I appreciate about the PC community, because the PC community will call out some foolishness.
Right, exactly.
Very quickly. When you call something a TI and we look at it, no, it was a 47. No, what was it? Was it a 4080? I can't remember what it was. Whichever card it was that they were trying to pass off as a 4080, and it wasn't a 4080, and we was like, that's a whole different die. Like, that's a whole different like card. Period. Like, you're not going to call that a 4080 and then try to overcharge us for that. Right. Jay says, which games are pushing 4090 to its limits? I would say not very, very many. The 4090 is an amazing card. It's just, it's
you got a 4090, you don't need anything.
You don't need nothing if you got a 4090 right now. I would say maybe Alan Wake 2 and Cyberpunk with path tracing turned on will push a 4090 to its limits. But that's 2 games. Nothing else is really pushing a 4090 like that. Like those are 2 games where you need to turn on frame generation and you need to turn on DLSS upscaling in order to make sure that you're playing at a well above a acceptable frame rate. When I say that, I'm talking like above 60 frames per second. Because like over here, we don't deal with the 30. Like that's not playable. That's not considered good. That's not acceptable on PC platform. So like, yeah, anything over 60 is playable. But those two games are the only ones that I know that with a 4090, you need to turn on upscaling in order to make sure you can stay above 60 FPS, which Alan Wake 2 and Cyberpunk with path tracing. For myself, I want to either get, what I want is to upgrade to 16 gigs of VRAM. I want that, and I want frame generation. Although to a degree, I'm probably not going to use it too much because I know with some games, like the latency makes it kind of unplayable. But I want that 16 gigs of VRAM, and that means I'm either getting a 4070 Ti Super or I'm getting a 4080 Super. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till these benchmarks come out because, of course, as usual, you know, us 10%ers don't trust what companies tell us. And that's going to be a theme that we're going to be talking about a lot more tonight, about trusting what companies tell us. Don't do it. How about that? But we don't trust what companies tell us. So like, even though you're looking at the graphic here and it's saying, oh, 4K full ray tracing for the 4080 Super. Okay. Oh, faster than a 3090 for the 4070 Super. Okay.
Under
2 times as fast. Right. 2 times faster than a 3070 Ti. Okay. Thank you. Now, Gamer Nexus, go give me those benchmarks. Hardware Unbox, go give me those benchmarks of you comparing that card against other cards against the same kind of very high demanding games, because that's what I want to see. I don't care what Nvidia says. I don't care what Intel or AMD ever say about their products. I listen to independent parties do the actual testing, and they don't have any bones and they don't have any skin in the game. And then that's when I say, okay, that's worth it, and I'm gonna put my money down on that. So that's what I plan on doing. I might not get either of these. It all depends. It all depends. If I don't feel like it's worth the money, then I'm not going to do it. But
it's really hurt. It's really hurt that EVGA doesn't, because I probably would be a no-brainer for one of these cards if EVGA still make cards.
Yeah, look, blame that on Nvidia, because the EVGA. Yeah, EVGA treats their partners Nvidia treats their partners terribly, and EVGA had enough. Like, and it's sad because they were the best at making partnered GPUs. Yeah, and they was like, this isn't worth it. Like, we barely get enough time to put one together. We don't know the pricing, and then when things go wrong or whatever, we're held accountable for everything, and Nvidia just washes their hands of it. It's trash, and Nvidia should do better than how they treat their partners. But it is what it is. I anything else you want to say about this before we move on?
Nope.
Sounds good. Hey, Forte, did you hear? Did you hear that there is another PlayStation game showing up on PC now? Did you hear about that?
Shut your mouth. Does it have something to do with robotic dinosaurs and a girl with her hair that flows in the wind?
I think so. You know, a little digital NyQuil, you know, kind of boring, but very pretty. Probably one of the prettiest games you ever seen. Yeah, that's the game. So Horizon Forbidden West is coming to PC. I don't know if they said their release date or not. I can't recall. It's coming It's coming sometime this year. I would anticipate, considering that they already showed the trailer for it, that this is going to be showing up before the summer. So somewhere in the first half of the year, this is going to show up on PC. I kind of
don't do it.
Look, hold on. Let me say this. Let me just look. Can I say this real quick? Can I say
that you kind of want to buy it to test you literally go to boot.
I just want to see it.
Exactly. You just want.
I just want to. This would be one of the most beautiful games ever. Period on PC.
So was the last game.
True, the last game still looks beautiful, but this one looks even better than the last game. I'm just saying. Look.
You didn't even finish the last one.
Look, this is going to sound horrible, and before I say this, I'm going to say I have played a significant number of PlayStation exclusives that console exclusives, because you can't call them exclusives no more, right? Because the whole slate's going to PC, and I played a significant number of them on PC, and I have beaten the majority of them. That said, this might be the one where I buy it and then I get it from Steam, and then I'm really closely watching that 2-hour mark.
Oh no, just to see it slow-mo?
I just want to record it and benchmark it and have it look amazing, and then be like, that's enough. Because this game's boring, and then I'm going to return it, and that'll be it. I just might do it. I'm contemplating. Am I wrong for that? Is that wrong of me?
No, you're not wrong.
I don't know. Are you? I kind of know the answer to this, but are you getting this, Forte? Did I lose you, Forte?
No.
Okay,
no, my mic you went out.
I said, are you getting this one?
No.
Why not?
Why?
I mean, it's a beautiful game. Why don't you want it?
No.
What's the problem?
No, because I know I'm not going to play it. I have this beautiful game on my PS5, and I still didn't play it.
That's true. Me too. Yeah.
So I'm good. And you love the first one. You're the leader.
You keep saying love. You keep saying love.
Okay,
you keep using that word.
You tolerated the first game.
No. See, and that's too far in the opposite direction. I liked the first one. Once I played it on PC, and I played it at I think I was playing like somewhere between 85 and 90 FPS the whole time with like maxed out settings, 1440p. It was great. And I once I was no longer really thinking about performance. It was all right. It was an all right game. It was cool. It was cool. I thought the story was a good story that was kind of told poorly, and I feel like Guerrilla Games really, if anything, is their weakness. Like, their engine is amazing. One of the Decim engine is one of the best engines out there. They are wizards with that. They have great artists. They put a lot of time and care. Like I did when I did the video about hair in video games, like the amount they put, it's a guy at Guerrilla Games that spent 2 years working on Aloy's hair. Like, that's how much time and detail and care they put into the visuals of the game. And I just wish that their narrative team put that much time and care into this boring story and this boring main character, because she sucks. She's a dead cockroach. There's no personality. So yeah, I'm probably not going to partake in this, but for the rest of our PC peeps, you want to play something that's visually amazing. Like, this is visually amazing. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's going to have Nvidia DLAA. It's got Nvidia DLS 3, 3.5 more than likely, since they really didn't say it there. But yeah, it's going to look freaking beautiful, and I might end up jumping on it on the deep sale just to play around with how it looks. But I appreciate Sony for giving us their content. It's much appreciated. You ready to move on, man?
Listen, man. May who knows? I'll put it like this: I will not buy this game. Okay, I did the same thing. See, listen, I don't have a problem with saying that I am a fanboy of running specs on my PC just to see how good it does. But I also know, but this is the reason. You want to know the real reason I'm not going to buy this game? The real reason I'm not going to buy it at least day one, because I might end up with it at some point down the line. There might be some type of Steam sale or whatever. What is it on Steam or is it on Epic?
It would be on Steam. It probably
Okay,
would
so
be
it's
on
on
both,
Steam.
honestly.
Okay, yeah. So I'll probably end up getting it at some point during some $10 off coupon from Epic or a Steam sale or whatever. So, but the real reason I don't want to get it is because I don't want this game to remind me that I need to get a new GPU.
Well, by the time this comes out, you might have already gotten a new GPU, before this month is up.
But guess what? I'm trying not to listen. I told you I'm trying to find a way not to buy a GPU this year and trying to wait till next year.
Well,
So
I mean, this seems to be. I mean, you only have 8 gigs of VRAM.
So I'm gonna stay away from this game. I'm gonna stay away because the draw distance in this game by itself is gonna kill my PC. Because we all know that's the one thing I will say. I was watching one of my friends play it while he was streaming it, and he was like flying on the back of the air wing, whatever they call the flying one, and I was like, he was just flying and he was flying. I was like, dog, you're going pretty far. And I'm looking at the draw distance and I'm like, yo, you can actually go there. I was like, man, it's gonna be, and then they'll turn the depth of field up and turn up the aerobatic occlusion and all that other stuff. And then you're gonna be like, man, this looks so beautiful. And then you're gonna be playing at 30 frames per second, and that can't happen.
Right. So just get a new GPU, Forte.
Yeah, then I'll buy the game then. But no, it's the complete edition too, so it comes with all the DLC. I haven't heard anybody that played the DLC to tell me if it was good or not. I
heard the DLC is very good, and the Asian girl that's in the DLC, that's kind of like a companion partner to Aloy. People seem to like her far more than Aloy. Like, I guess she's just got like an actual personality. Like, picture that. I even heard a few people. I think they were just being slanderous, but I've heard a few people say make the next game about her or do like a side game about this other girl. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that, like a little, Miles Morales shorter experience kind of deal. Who knows? Who knows what they might be working on?
Yeah,
but yeah, we can move on.
But it's gonna be the best. It's gonna be probably one of the best looking games that came out this year on PC.
Oh, absolutely. By far.
Anywho, PlayStation 8 flowers. Shout out to PlayStation.
We have a word from CD Projekt Red saying they have no interest, zero interest in being acquired. And I wanted to bring this up because you and I tend to always like have these discussions sometimes when it comes to these studios, and they speak out and they say, hey, look, stop asking us. We ain't getting acquired. So stop talking about it. To quote them exactly, this is from Adam. I'm about to butcher this name. Kashinki? Adam Kashinki?
Yep.
Okay, that works.
Is that it for real?
Yeah, I think that's it. I apologize in advance. We are not interested in integrating ourselves into any larger entity. Throughout our entire lives, we have worked towards the position we currently hold. We believe that in a few years, we will be even bigger and stronger. Some bold words there, and probably a little confidence from the next layer of content they got coming out very soon. Hopefully it's complete when it comes out. But Forte, what are your thoughts about this? Are you gonna try out the same Bungie quote? I don't know. What do you think?
Which Bungie quote are you referring to, sir?
I'm referring to the Bungie quote where you always bring up how Pete Parsons said that.
We have no plan. We have no plans on being acquired by anybody. Yeah, but that's not really the quote. It was just basically so they're not going to be purchased by Microsoft.
Yeah.
Whatever. No. What do they? What do you expect them to say? I mean, if they, I don't know, man. Even if they were going to be acquired or even looking to be acquired, they're not going to talk about it until it's imminently done. They're not going to bring any attention or anything to it. They're not going to do any of that type of stuff. So do I think that they are? Do I think that they need to be? I mean, maybe before, the release of Liberty City, I probably thought that way
Phantom
because
Liberty.
did I say Liberty City? Like I'm thinking like Grand Theft
Yeah.
Auto. I'm thinking
I
Grand Theft
was like,
Auto. That's
what?
why. Phantom
They
Liberty.
working on Grand
Yeah.
Theft?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe before Phantom Liberty, just due to the fact that we really didn't know like the direction that they were really going to go with fixing the game and everything. And they already did a lot of work before that came out, but seeing the DLC, seeing the overall praise that it's getting and everything, people had it in the game of the year conversation for, a DLC and stuff. And I get it because they make really good DLCs.
I got problems with that.
Yeah, it's crazy, but no, I don't think they truly need to be acquired. But I also think that everybody on the face of the earth doesn't need to be acquired. There has to be some independent studios out there that are going to push the.
You're starting to break up there, man. Oh, here we go. I knew this was happening.
But
okay, there you're back now.
You hear me?
But yeah. You turned into Optimus Prime for a second, and then you're back. So.
Oh Lord. But I do think in general, it just ultimately comes down to if they want to be purchased, they'll be purchased. But right now, there's really no reason to. And I think everybody just wants it's like a list war thing. Like nobody really truly cares if CD Projekt Red is acquired by anybody unless it's by Microsoft or Sony. And if it's by one of them, then the other side would hate it. That's it.
True.
That's all it is.
True. I'll go a step further. Big publishers and big developers only get acquired when they are in some kind of financial straits. It's not like if this was going to happen with CDPR, this would have happened back in 2020 or 2021 when they were dealing with the fact that they had basically itched the bed big time with the release of Cyberpunk and definitely had lost a lot of confidence and goodwill in their reputation, then that would have happened. But after they have gone and turned the game around and everyone loves the game again and people are speaking about CDPR in high regard once again, there is zero reason for them to sell to anybody at this point. Financially, they did great, even when the game was looking horrible and people were pissed off and they were getting hit with class action lawsuits. The game sold 13 million copies. Even when PlayStation took the game off the PSN store and they had 1 million refunds, they still sold, after all that, still sold 13 million copies. They're good.
Right.
And they said they released recently that the game sold another 5 million when Phantom Liberty came out. So they're definitely good. And so when you look at Bungie being acquired by Sony, well, like after everything that has happened with the layoffs and whatnot, we come to find out that if Bungie didn't get acquired by Sony, they were looking at a real possibility of being shut down.
Yeah, they were.
We look at other situations where, take ZeniMax Media, for example. The founder is on his last legs. No disrespect to him. And he wanted to make sure the company was good before he passed away. And so they had a great relationship with Microsoft. That's what allowed that to happen. ABK would not have been acquired by Xbox if the Cosby Room wasn't a thing. And the really unfortunate situations and how they treated women and all kinds of other unsavory activities weren't happening at ABK, they would not be a first party publisher under Xbox right now. So these situations allowed them to be acquired. Why people think that publishers like Sega, which is doing really great right now, CDPR doing really great right now, Capcom doing excellent right now. Why would they sell? They're not in the business to sell their business. Like they didn't build, like, you know how some entrepreneurs will build something up, build a business up, and the end goal is to have it be at the height of its value and sell it to another company, and then, you know, take that money and go off and just relax. That's the goal for some people. That's not the goal for any of these publishers. The goal for these publishers is to continue being who they are, with the goals that they have, with the mantras that they have, and to continue to independently, as they have for well over decades, make great games and keep it moving. None of it has anything to do with selling to a platform. And if they do anything like that, it's because they have very little choice. A lot of the Xbox studios that got acquired made those same decisions. We know Ninja Theory and Obsidian were in those boats. And those studios could very well not exist right now if Xbox didn't help them out. And so I'm glad that they did acquire them so that they're still around to make games for us. But I think people, and typically it's fans of these platforms, have a very unrealistic concept of why these acquisitions are happening the way they are. And that doesn't mean they won't continue to happen, because as we saw with all the layoffs last year, even though games are doing great and revenue was popping, they laid off people left and right. 10,000 people laid off last year in the gaming industry. That wasn't simply because things weren't great.
Revenue was popping. It wasn't popping enough for them to keep all those people, though.
Exactly. So it's like it had to happen for them to keep the lights on. And so when you have to make those decisions, it's not going to be a shocker if some of these studios or smaller publishers have to make further decisions. We might see that with Embracer this year, you know. So I'm done speaking on this. Forte, what were your thoughts about it?
No, in general, I think it ultimately comes back to, especially when it comes to CDPR, it ultimately comes back to first of all, like you said, I said in the beginning, they're not in trouble. If they were in trouble, was at the beginning. Second of all, they sold 12 million copies of a game that literally got that people wanted their money back, and Sony was giving refunds on their platform, and they still sold 12 million after all the refunds. And then people turned right back around when the game was fixed and spent more money to get back into the game, because they're a quality developer. You know, we may question the motives of the people that are at the top of the pyramid, right? And leadership, but we don't question the developers, because we know what they can do, and then they basically are batting 2 out of 2 right now when it comes to their games right now. But I just think in general, it ultimately really falls back on just everybody just needs to understand that it's not going to be a situation where everybody has to be acquired to, make games and stuff. I mean, it sounds good because who wouldn't want to have CDPR as a first party studio? I mean, but think about it. If it's PlayStation, would they make it exclusive? A lot of people right now,
I think so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If it's Xbox, you really don't know. We'll talk about that later. So at that point, like, what does the the purchase tag really mean? It just, in some people's eyes, it just means that you have the opportunity to put your games in more places. But then I'm also going to say this game was already everywhere. So you're really not gaining anything other than just the overall revenue that they're generating. And if they're still generating revenue at that point to a good enough point, why do they need to be purchased? It's like the complete opposite with Bungie. Bungie was hemorrhaging money and they needed Sony to come in to help them subsidize what was going on with Destiny so they could get the marathon. You know, they couldn't do it by themselves. And that's part of the reason why Xbox didn't, the rumors why Xbox didn't pick them up is because they did an assessment on them and they came back that they are basically bleeding money like crazy. And that's kind of what happens with a live service game. That's why you see so many layoffs. And that's why you saw Epic lay off so many people, even though they can handle and they produce a lot of content. They didn't produce enough content for the point that they still weren't making as much money on Fortnite as they were when they hired all those people. They hired them for a reason. They served their purpose and they were gone. And they can do that because they're in a financial state where they can just, let people go and still keep the lights on. That's when you, like you said, that's when you kind of see somebody get purchased. Activision, a lot of stuff with the with all the stories that were coming out of there, everything with Body Kotick, everything that's going on with leadership, just the discrimination of everything that was happening there. Then couple that with the price drop of the stock, Microsoft came in through the back door. It was like, hey, pause, but we're here. We're here, and we're here for $97 a share. You're at 65. We're still overvaluing you, but we'll take you. And then you got people out there championing it because it's like, yo, I want to get this payday and get up out of here. So there's a lot of different motives for a lot of different
Lulu?
People to get. Yeah, right. I didn't want to say shout out to Lulu. Lulu got her. She got her golden parachute.
She got the bag and she was gone.
As soon as it went through, she was like, I am done. I am retiring. I have fought the good console war fight for about a year and a half. And she got up out of there. But guess what? Everybody has different motives. And, did Activision have to sell? No. But it was time for them to sell because the direction of the company was heading in. Anybody can do better than what they were doing. And Xbox just happens to be the one that was able to afford them to be able to do something like that. But not every studio is going to be in a situation like that where they have to sell. If that time does come for CD Projekt Red, trust me, they'll fall into the same category. They just don't need to do it right now.
Right. Anything else you want to say on that? We can move on to a topic I think a lot of people are rubbing their hands on.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about that topic, but I do want to ask you a question before we get into the Xbox topics. So they announced, because I don't see it on your thing, and we ain't got to spend no more than a minute on this.
Okay.
They announced that Halo Season 2 is coming to Paramount.
Oh my, yeah, I saw that trailer. That fool's gold of a trailer. That fool's gold.
They showed the trailer. It comes out January 25th. No, February 8th. I'm sorry, February 8th. SloMo.
They're doing the Fall of Reach.
That's what I hear, and that interests me because Fall of Reach is my favorite book, and it's like one of my favorite Halo games. Should I finish season 1? Because I stopped right after the sex scene. Right after the sex scene, I stopped, bro. I was like, no, this is not John 117. I'm not watching this. I can't. I stopped watching it after that. So I don't know how it ended. I don't know anything about it. Some people tried to tell me. I was like, no, I don't want to know, just in case I want to go back and do it. Do you think I should go back and finish season 1 before season 2 comes out? Or do you think I should just cut my losses and say, I'm not even going to participate in this?
Okay. I'm going to say, I think you should do the latter, but let's do the former, because I ain't finished it either.
Where did you stop? Where did you stop at?
It was before the sex scene. It was before I just couldn't. Yeah, it may have been when what's the black guy's name? it's Boheme something, right? Like the black dude. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. When one, I couldn't get with the terrible prosthetic arm that they had on him. The child, his arm is supposed to be mutated from the augments that they made to them, and it just looked like some low budget CW garbage. And I just like that episode that was about him. I just could not stop looking at the arm, and I was just like, yo, I'm done.
Right.
I can't do this no more. I cannot do this. Thank you, Miko Bakeen Woodbine, which I like. He's AKA Evil Dave Chappelle.
Evil Dave Chappelle. You look like Dave Chappelle.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I couldn't watch it after that episode. But look, I only want to watch the second season to tell y'all I told you so once again. Because I think that trailer, I feel like some of the people that they laid off, that Sony and Bungie laid off, that used to do amazing trailers for Destiny, got hired by Paramount. Because that trailer is awesome. That's an awesome trailer.
It looked good.
But awesome trailers don't always turn into awesome content. Hello Rebel Moon, because that Zack Snyder movie sucks. But the trailer amazing, right? So I feel like the trailer has got people kind of hyped up. But I ain't even looking at the trailer. I'm looking at like, how in the world are regular humans or Spartans without the armor holding their own against the Sangeli, aka the elites? You should not even, only the Spartans with the armor on are supposed to be able to even hold their own and survive. Like, how in the world? I'm seeing like little clips cuts in here and there of them dodging like the energy sword. Like, get the freak out. I'm like, already right. I'm watching the trailer like, look, stylishly, like directing and visually, it looks cool, but I'm still kind of seeing things as just like, I know it's the silver universe or whatever the heck you want to call it, but it's just like canon wise, that's silly. And I'm telling you, it's fool's gold. Like, people are going to watch this, and don't be surprised if the whole Fall of Reach is like the first 2 episodes, and those episodes are good, and then the rest of it is just Master Chief butt naked showing his butt cheeks every 5 minutes, never putting his helmet on, don't even got a pistol on him or anything, and it's just like, what am I watching? Like, is this Halo or is this a CW, comedy drama? Like, what the heck is this? And so I'm not. Go ahead.
No, it's it, because Rodimus just said what I kept hearing from people, that actually the last episode was the only episode that actually felt like Halo. And that's what and that's what a lot of people told me. They said, just make it to the last episode. And I was like, that means I gotta make it through 3 more.
Right. People told me that when I quit, and I tried to go back for like a half an episode. That's it. Nah, I just don't care. So look, so we can move on to the next topic.
Yeah.
Let's try to watch it. Okay. Like we will, I will hit you up. I'm like, okay, I'm watching. I'll get caught up to the sex scene episode. And then once I'm caught up there and my eyes still work, I'm going to hit you up and I'll be like, hey, let's watch the rest of this. Okay. I'm on this episode. Let's watch this episode. And that's like, so we'll help each other push through to get the whole season ended so we can watch the second season and be disappointed.
So what we should do is, all right, I'm down with that. If we're going to do that, if we're going to struggle with watching this, we might as well turn it into content. We might as well do that. So what we'll do is we'll finish it. You get caught up. The new season starts February 8th. What we'll do is the week before it comes out, the February 8th is, what day is that on? February 8th is a Thursday. So it's the second week of February. So it literally comes out on the day of DPS. That's crazy. All right. So what we'll do is the first. So the week before. So February 1st, which is a Thursday, we'll do an impression, like our thoughts on this of Halo. Like we'll just do a topic on it, because since we didn't watch it all the way through, we could kind of give like our thoughts on what we think we hope to see and what the hell they need to improve on it. Because guess what? A lot of people just forgot about this thing because it was so terrible.
Yeah. Kind of out of sight. And then what didn't help is that not too long after it came out, we got the Last of Us TV show, which, not perfect, but very good. And I just saw either shout out to Storm Reed, who played Riley, in that she won an Emmy.
She did.
Yeah, and I saw very emotional, awesome. I love to see our Black queens be recognized for their good work, and that show was really good. And unfortunately, like it's crazy when like you saw some of the comments from the Paramount producers and stuff, where they took so many liberties with the Halo franchise, and then only to see the Last of Us work with Neil Druckmann, work with like people who worked on the game, and then do not a 1-to-1, of the actual The Last of Us game, but be so close to it, for and almost 1-to-1 in a lot of different situations. And for it to turn out so well, and for people who didn't play the game to really enjoy it, it just kind of, to me, is like validation for us gamers when we say, just give us the content that's from the game, stupid. Like these Hollywood types that think they know better. Oh, it's just video games. Oh, well, you don't, nothing you've ever written or ever done has anyone in Hollywood, like any audiences, have felt like your content was awesome anyway. So think it is just video games. Maybe some of these video games and their writers are better than you. Sorry. So it's just, it's annoying. It's annoying when I have to, like, we consistently keep seeing for decades when it's become the video game adaptations in different media. We've just seen people who aren't fans of of video games poo-pooing our content and then trying to do their own take on it and then watching it basically bomb. So stop doing that and just give us what the content's supposed to be. All right. I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, and then I'm about to be off mine. And the biggest thing is, and this isn't like play, this isn't like against you and what you're saying, because I do agree if you do something like this, like he says, I don't think the show was that bad where you divorce yourself from the games. I don't disagree with you on that. A person that never played Halo before and just watched the show probably thought it was, oh, this is pretty cool. It's got real, like, ugly graphical effects in it, but in general I don't think it's bad. But I'm sorry, I'm not divorcing myself of anything, especially when you get an adaptation like Last of Us that did it so well. It's like they almost did paint by numbers and then added more context to things inside of the show that people were kind of wondering, like the whole episode at the farm and stuff. Like that was a whole, like that section, the whole episode at the farm in Last of Us was something that literally takes place in 10 minutes in the game, 10, 15 minutes as you're passing through that area, and you kind of understand, Bill's, struggle and everything that happened there. They turned that into a whole episode that made you care about the characters more than you cared about them in the game. And I thought that was a really, really good adaptation of that scenario and stuff. And I thought it was cool. Halo, Master Chief takes his helmet off. What the heck? Never did it in the game. You do it in the TV show. He's having sex with Covenants or I'm like, yo, I did, like, it's only so far. It's only so far I can go, bro. So listen, we gonna watch this thing. But listen, when that happened to me, SloMo, I just turned it off, and I was like, I'm not watching anymore. I'm done. I deleted Paramount Plus off my phone, and it was over. I was like, I'll come back later. I was still watching. I was so mad. So know me, I was so mad, bro. I was still watching Star Trek, Strange New Worlds and stuff. Cause that's a really good Star Trek show. I was still watching.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Yeah, it's really good. I was still watching that, and it pissed me off so bad. I deleted Paramount Plus, and when I heard when the new season came on, I was like, "Who deleted Paramount Plus?" And I was like, "Oh, I did because Halo was so terrible." But oh my god, okay, that's it though. But that's how I feel about it.
I think I mentally checked out of that show when there was a part. I think it may have been like the third episode where Chief goes to like a completely like a planet where they don't know if the Covenant's there. They don't know if there are hostiles there. He shows up at the planet trying to like revisit. I think it was like his home planet, and he was trying to unlock his memories of his past or whatever. And he shows up there in a warthog. He ain't got no gun on him. And so and it's just I'm like, the Master Chief with no gun. And then he's like, why do you have your armor on but no helmet?
He's taking pot shots. He inside the Pelican taking pot shots. We like, yo, put your helmet on.
What are you doing? Like it's just like he took his helmet off for no reason to calm some girl down that he didn't need to calm down because he told her 5 times already that little baby pistol you shooting at me ain't gonna hurt me. And then I'm gonna take my helmet off anyway, even though you can shoot me in the face. And it's just like what? Why are you constantly taking your helmet off for no reason? Why are you walking around this planet where you don't know if hostiles are there with no gun? It's yeah. All right. Look, we said we were going. I'm just getting upset.
It's just getting upset now. That's why I don't want to watch this. This is getting upset now.
Let's just move on. Let's talk about Xbox first party for a moment now. So
let's talk about the game side of Xbox, not the TV side of it.
Oh my gosh, this is probably gonna piss other people off. Here we go. So it's been a interesting week. And this started the day after our last episode. So this is why we didn't talk about this last episode. But a lot of rumors are being spoken about from a well-known leaker named Nate the Hate. He started this.
Thank you, Nate.
And yeah, thanks, Nate. Nate said that, and he didn't say the name of the game, but ever since then, it's kind of like sparked all this other stuff. But he said there is a Xbox first party exclusive that in the year that it came out, it was a part of the Game of the Year conversation that will be coming to, did he say Nintendo Switch or did he just say other platforms? I couldn't remember. But that got a lot of people talking. And then next thing we know, like people are on different forums, people who have who were reliable in leaking things in the past, saying that, I heard, Hi-Fi Rush is going to the Switch and PlayStation. There have been other people who are now saying that they've heard things where they know that there are older Xbox first party games that have been ported and are ready to be put on other platforms in the console market. And so it's really kind of split the community of people who seem to be very fine with this. They're fine with this direction and they're fine with what Xbox is doing. And other people who are not fine with it and don't like the direction that they are taking. presumably taking, because like again, none of this stuff is confirmed yet. So that's the stance we gotta take, allegedly taking, and what that may mean for the console market. And so let's have a discussion about this.
Discussions.
Forte, what are your thoughts on all of this?
Are we talking about just the overall games? With games being about those games coming? It's a nothing burger. Who cares if Xbox wants to release their games on other platforms? Who cares if Xbox wants to put their games on a toaster? Who cares if they want their games to be on a PlayStation, a Nintendo Switch? Who cares? You should, especially when as an Xbox gamer, all we've been doing is championing options. People just kept saying like more people can play games, more people can experience the games. I mean, I think some people forget what they said 6 months ago or 6 weeks ago or even a week ago. It's like we're championing the fact that Xbox is giving people choice, but when choice isn't in your benefit, a lot of people get upset about it. And I get it. It kind of devalues the console a little bit for people. And that's a real thing. But I also think that this is something that Xbox has been telling us for quite some time, ever since 2015 with Play Anywhere, starting with Quantum Break, that game being a day and date launch on console and PC. You know, that was the beginning of it. And then, you know, with Minecraft being a game that stayed multi-platform, and it's just a conversation that when you sit there and you think about it, it's to the benefit of what Xbox wants to do. It's not to say that Xbox can't survive on their own. It's just that Xbox is finding a different way to compete, and their competing is through software and services. And the best way for them to do that is to put their games in as many places as possible. First, it was the wherever Game Pass exists. Now it's like, let's get these games wherever we can get, you know, a chance to put them. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just ultimately comes back to, I think people truly just are a little upset that their favorite games are not exclusive to the platform that they care about the most anymore, or that will become the case. But I also would tell people, like, the biggest thing that you should be caring about the most is, are you still able to play these games the way you want to play them? Is your enjoyment being taken away because those games are not available on the platform, only the platform that you persist and want to be a part of? And if that's the case, what is the next step for you as a gamer? Because I don't think that it shouldn't be something that you should be afraid to be like, oh, I want to play these games the way I want to play them, but Xbox is giving me options. You can't have it both ways, the way I look at it. So that's kind of how I really feel about it. It's just a big circle jerk, honestly, and people kind of just want to live off of the things that they said last week versus the way that it's going now. And I keep telling, and this is the last thing I'll say. People say with Sony, I remember telling people this a long time ago. I was like, if Sony let Xbox put their games on PlayStation, would Xbox do it? It's a resounding yes, because Xbox wants their games everywhere. Everybody kept saying, yeah, Xbox would love to have their games on PlayStation. They would love to have their games on Nintendo.
But everyone, but hold on.
This is the thing they always say. But go ahead.
Yeah, they always say that because Xbox, it was always couched upon in the confines of, if Game Pass is on those platforms, then those games would be there. Because what did Phil Spencer say at the ZeniMax Media Bethesda Xbox?
He said our games will be available where Game Pass exists.
Right. And if these rumors are to be true, none of these rumors say that PlayStation or Nintendo are allowing Game Pass on their platform. Yeah.
But I always tell people that
is a contradiction of what was told.
Well, listen. Plans change all the time, literally all the time. If your competitor isn't allowing, okay, put it like this: if your competitor isn't going to allow Game Pass to be on their platform, it's not like you're not putting your games on a third party platform like PC. You are putting them on PC. You have a better grasp of that ecosystem because you have the operating system, you have a Windows store, so there's multiple ways for you to buy it. But I also think putting your games on PC, a lot of people didn't think Sony would actually let them do it. Like I even remember talking about saying, hey, if they were just to put Halo or some whatever game on PlayStation, would that be a bad thing? And people was like, no, that'd be a good thing. But PlayStation would never let it happen. PlayStation wouldn't want Halo on it. They wouldn't want a competitor on their system. It looks like that's kind of changed. And that's kind of changed across gaming in general. PlayStation at one point would have never put their games on PC. They always believed in putting their games on one platform. Even Nintendo, they haven't went completely full bore like Xbox and PlayStation are doing, but they said they would never have a Nintendo property off their platform. And they even got a Nintendo property on mobile. They with Mario Run and stuff. That was like their first foray. Now they haven't done anything since that, but that has been something that they have kind of done. So I just think people, when you sit there and you think about it, it's not that you really don't care. It's not that you really care that the games are on another platform. It's just that it's a narrative that everybody's been championing for the longest, that Xbox got all these different things, but now it seems like PlayStation, Nintendo's are going to be able to get those things too. So you as an Xbox gamer aren't going to be as special. And that's true to an extent, but I will also tell you.
Oh no, that's more than true than an extent. If you are an Xbox only gamer, you are to them.
Because Xbox is more than just a console. That's what I'm saying. As an Xbox gamer, if you're a console only, this sucks because you are super devalued because you can play on any console and get the same experience if they start doing that. But as an Xbox gamer, that's the best thing you can ask for, because guess what? Xbox is going to be putting their stuff anywhere. So that means we always say it about PC. If PlayStation ever got to the point where they put their games day and date on PC, I wouldn't own a PlayStation. I don't need one.
So that goes to my next question then. If this rumor is to be true, and they plan on putting a significant number of older exclusives on other platforms, and that will continue, why own the Xbox console?
Well, the question is, why would you own one now?
Let's say you already own one. And they say the rumor is true that they're going to drop another SKU or Xbox or a different whether it's a refresh or a new generation in 2026.
Right.
If all this stuff is true, and by 2026 there's Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, I know like a bunch of Xbox first party content on PlayStation and Switch. Why would you buy that Xbox that's coming out in 2026?
I mean, honestly, unless you're an Xbox diehard gamer, you wouldn't, unless that's the only console that you prefer to play on. Now, I will say there are differences.
You're starting to break up again.
A console gamer.
Forte, you're starting to break up again.
Prefer.
Yeah, here we go.
So if I wasn't a PC gamer, I would just play. I would still just buy multiple. I would just buy multiple consoles. What happened? Did it do it again?
Yeah, it did. Could you not hear me when I was saying that? You're starting to buy it again?
I heard you say it. Then I was like, oh Lord, it must be doing it again.
But you just kept talking.
I gotta find.
You just kept going.
No, I just gotta find out how I can turn. That's the thing, because my sleep mode. I just gotta turn my sleep mode off on my laptop, because that's what it is. When it goes to sleep, it does that.
It's Windows. Just you know how to turn sleep mode off on Windows? Because this happened a few weeks ago, and
I said I just have to turn it off. I just haven't turned it off yet. I need to turn it off. That's what I'm saying.
Then turn it off. What are we doing here? Like this happened weeks ago, like a month ago, and you said it's the sleep mode, and you still ain't turning it off.
But it didn't. I didn't have that problem the last time we did it. It was just whatever. Leave me alone. You
were supposed to turn it off before, is what I'm saying. So just turn it off.
You just made me lose all my train of thought. I love you. Thank you. I don't even know what I was going to say anymore. You made me lose my train of thought. I feel bad now.
Okay. Well, let me say a few words here.
Go ahead, get your words in.
This, if you're an Xbox only gamer, I fully understand why you would be upset about this, because you feel like, well, what did I buy this Xbox for? I mean, because I could have bought a PlayStation and got all the same content and then some. I don't have to buy 2 pieces of hardware. I didn't have to spend an additional $500. I could have just, or $300, depending on what you bought. I could just buy a PlayStation and get all of that content on the console, side of things. This is the reason why, and we've seen it for a while. This is the reason why people say, "Hey, I'm going to PC." Increasingly more so with PlayStation putting their content. We see Helldivers 2 is launching on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
We see that their single player games will be staggered and are coming to PC a year to 2 years later. And so it really kind of beggars the question, if you're the kind of person that's just like, well, I can't wait for my games, which I am. I'm that kind of person. If I want to play something, I want to play it right now. Nice. Then you're not going to wait. But if you're the kind of person that can wait a year or two, I mean, Hi-Fi Rush, if this rumor is true about Hi-Fi Rush, that game came out this time last year.
Yep, calendar year later.
If it's coming to PlayStation this year, that's a shorter time period than the vast majority of PlayStation games that have come to PC.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, damn well Nintendo ain't putting anything on any other platform. You're not getting Mario or Donkey Kong or Luigi's Mansion or Pokemon or Pikmin or Animal Crossing, whatever. You're not getting any of that content on Xbox. You're not. We all know this. You're not getting God of War or Uncharted or Ghost of Tsushima or Spider-Man on Xbox.
That's true.
But Xbox is going to put their content everywhere else. I think what this is doing, and we've seen the hardware sales for the Xbox. They're not great. They're trending behind the Xbox One. But this is doing, Blade X's Helldivers is now PS4. Okay, my bad. PS5 and PC. There you go. But it's a simultaneous launch. What this is really doing is hastening the end of Xbox hardware. And yeah, they'll say, hey, look, we're going to keep making Xbox hardware. And I'm not saying it's like next year it's not happening anymore, because clearly they already got plans to launch something from what we've seen in 2026. But what about beyond then? Because if you're going to consistently keep putting your content on other platforms that you're competing against, but those platforms aren't putting their exclusive, unique content on your platform, yes, your platform is devalued significantly.
Sure.
Because they have your content and theirs, and you just have your content sooner. And for some people, like I said, that can't wait, that's fine that's fine for me.
True.
I'll stay buying an Xbox because I don't like PC, but I want to play Elder Scrolls 6 at launch. And I want to play the next Halo that's supposed to be in development. And I want to play Gears 6. And I don't want to wait. Cool. You are a super, super small minority, but cool. More power to you.
True.
There's a lot of other people that's just going to be like, I'll wait for it to come to PlayStation. Even if that's not true, even if it hasn't been announced. When these kind of rumors start to spread further and it's never being reported that that's untrue, that they're just being silent, people just assume it must be true then.
That's true.
So
That's
look,
true.
I just this Xbox Series S is my last Xbox. I don't need another one. I mean, my kids, I may buy one for my kids if they still, want one. But even my daughter, who's 8 years old, just turned 8 today, by the way. I love her so much. Happy birthday to my baby.
Happy birthday, girl.
Even she asked me for a PC. And I was like, at 8 years old, I kind of feel like building you a PC. I don't feel like that's the right time. I don't think you're quite old enough for that yet. Even though she's super mature, she's like 8 going on 30. She's still an 8-year-old girl, and the internet's the internet, and yeah. So I'll build her a PC in a few years, but not now. But basically, when the next Xbox come out, she will be 10, 11 years old. And I might have built her a PC by then. So she's probably not going to want an Xbox either at that point. And it's just the way these younger generations are now. They don't consume gaming the way we consume gaming. You look at the way, you look at this, like our community of gamers and the kind of games that we play. And I play Fortnite. But I know a lot of people in this gaming community don't play Fortnite. But Fortnite's one of the most popular games in the freaking world.
It is.
Like, people think that, like, are so insulated in this community and think that only the games that we care about in this community are the only games that are really popping like that. We're niche. And we're not the majority. The majority of gamers, the most played games, we see this on a monthly basis from MPD. The most played games on all platforms are all the same games. Call of Duty, Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox. You see them on every platform. And on PC, you see a few different games on PC because those games are exclusive to PC. It's League of Legends, Valorant, CSGO, exclusive to PC. And so I just look at all of this stuff going on, and I kind of wonder, and I said this about, I did a lunchtime with SloMo on Monday, and you and Enrique joined me. Shout out to Enrique in chat. And I said this about Xbox because there were people who felt, well, this has to happen because the console market is shrinking, and they gotta do what they can to survive. There's no more sales out there for them. No, I disagree. I disagree about the shrinking. You can say it's stagnant for certain. You can say that, but I also disagree about that stance for Xbox because clearly I think when the Nintendo Switch is about to at some point this year hit the sales mark of the most sold console in console history, when the PlayStation 4 sold like 120 million consoles and the PlayStation 5 is currently outpacing it. Doesn't mean it definitely will, but it's on track to outsell it.
Right.
And your Xbox is trending behind your worst platform, the Xbox One. You have zero grounds to say the market is tapped out. It ain't tapped out for you. It's tapped out for them.
Right.
For you. Like it makes sense that PlayStation started putting their games on PC. They want to make more money. and it's hard for them to make more money in the console market more than what they're making right now. You, on the other hand, don't do localization. When I say you, I'm talking about Xbox. You don't do localization. You don't market your platform in non-English countries. You don't have any presence in those countries, and it's also due to your brand not being as strong, but it's also due to you not even trying. You have gamers in other countries that beg you to localize your games in their own native language. Why are you selling content and selling hardware in other countries and make it so that they can only consume it in English? Do you want them to be gamers or for you or what? When you don't market and you don't spend the time to make sure that your platform is on even ground with your competition, of course you're going to lose. When you have content, games that the people, the demographics of the country like those kind of games, but you don't market them, of course you're going to lose.
Right.
So this is your fault. And you could do better. But in order for you to do better, you gotta get out your comfort zone.
True.
You need to hire some people that understand the markets that you tried to put your platform in. You need to spend some money in other areas that you made that feel comfortable spending money in. But the whole idea that we can't do better than this. Oh, you could, but you won't do better until you decide to do differently. Enrique in chat says SloMo, the console is the priority for them. Yeah, but I'm talking about the root of it all, Enrique. Why is the console not a priority for them? Because they got a loser mentality. It's not a priority for them because they feel like they can't win. They can't do better than what they're currently doing, so they're not going to do better. Now it's not a priority. People who feel like I can't do something make that thing not a priority for them. I can't achieve this goal. I'm not going to try.
Right.
I can't do better than where I'm at. So I'll minimize it. I'll put my resources in other areas, which is fine. I'm not saying that's not going to be successful for them. But what I am saying is that the entire mentality that we couldn't do more, like it goes back to what Phil Spencer said on Kind of Funny when he said if Starfield was an 11 out of 10 game, which it wasn't, but if it was an 11 out of 10 game, it still wouldn't get people to give up their PlayStations and get Xboxes. And my thought process was, maybe they wouldn't give up their PlayStations, but maybe they would just buy an Xbox as well.
Yep.
But the mentality is that we can't get people to buy Xboxes, and it's not because of us. It's just for some reason they don't want to buy Xboxes. That is loser mentality. And you're avoiding looking in the mirror and wondering why that is the case. It's pretty freaking obvious. Look at what your competition is doing. You're not doing what they're doing. It's pretty damn simple. So, yeah, that's I'm off my soapbox on that. That's all I gotta say. Now, this approach, hey, it could work, and they could sell a lot. They could sell a lot of software, and they bought ABK. I mean, that game, Call of Duty is going to be on every platform anyway. They're going to be making, tons of revenue, good for them. But as far as the platform goes, as far as the brand goes, that's an L, man. So.
You think it's a complete L though?
It's an L for the Xbox brand, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's not an L for Microsoft Gaming,
Oh, okay. I get
but
you.
for the Xbox brand, that's an L.
Got you.
So Microsoft Gaming is going to do great. You know, you got the like what you average like 12 billion in revenue a year. Then you add in ABK's like 8 or 9 or whatever the heck ABK was doing, and look, and they're up there. They're right behind Sony and Tencent, and maybe that will grow even further when they start putting if they start putting their games on other platforms. You know, like that you're going to be, and depending on how big the expenses are and how much Game Pass grows, like, hey, sky's the limit on that. But doing this move is basically just putting a bullet in the head of your console and letting it just die a slow death. Maybe the bullet in the head is not a slow death. Maybe a bullet in the gut and then letting it bleed out. That's a better analogy. You are telling people, don't buy an Xbox, buy a PlayStation or a Switch. You'll still get our games. It's cool. You don't want an Xbox? It's cool. And yeah, they've been saying that for a while, haven't they?
They have been.
Now it's just, if again, allegedly, this is all just, the words being turned into actions. Anything else you want to say before we move on to Xbox Developer Direct?
I just think in general, it ultimately, I think it's just Xbox finally coming to the realization where they feel like they can compete. A lot of people don't like the fact that they're changing the parameters around competing, but I mean, that's what they need to do as a company. And I don't have a problem with them putting their games in other places. But if you're a console only gamer and you prefer the Xbox brand, this does suck for you. But we also can't speak out of both sides and say that it's not good for Xbox to do it when we champion Xbox putting their games in more places and having the ability to have choice. Because this is just another form of choice. It's just a form of choice that a lot of gamers that are just particular Xbox fans just don't like the most. But it is what it is, though.
And to be fair, because I know there are going to be people after this that are going to be like, well, SloMo, none of this stuff is confirmed yet. I said that 5,000 times during the stream, so I acknowledge that. There are going to be people who are going to tell me, hey, look, let them come out and speak on this at some point. Because literally, I'm not a leaker and I'm not connected, but I know a few people who are, and no one has told me this is complete bunk. Like when this stuff kind of thing like comes out and people are like, man, don't just ignore that, man. Like for example, there was a quote unquote leak from BioWare earlier this week where they were saying, and I got somewhat excited a little bit because it was saying there was going to be a Dragon Age Origins remake, and Dragon Age Origins is one of my favorite games, and a remake of that.
I know.
My heart skipped a beat. I was skipping around my house. I was like, yeah, let's go. A remake is what I wanted. And then I thought for a second, I said, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Didn't after the Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out and it did well, people begged for a Dragon Age Origins remake and they said that wasn't in the cards?
Mm-hmm.
Did something change? Or maybe this is fake? Then I started looking at the leak in detail, and I'm like, some of the stuff in the leak didn't make no sense. Like it was talking about for the new Mass Effect, the key villains would be the Leviathans, and I'm like, you mean the extinct race Leviathans? Those are the key villains? That would be pretty stupid. But new BioWare ain't as good as old BioWare, so maybe they into stupid. But then, unlike this Xbox situation, Mike Gamble, the project lead on the new Mass Effect game, tweets out right under this massive leak, quote unquote leak, Leviathans, really? And that's all he said.
That is all.
Which told people, man, this issue's fake. But all I'm hearing is, hey, SloMo, they got some plans. Let them explain it.
Let them cook.
It's not as bad as it appears.
Let them cook.
If that's the case, you should have been speaking a lot more sooner than now. If that is the case. When you let things fester on half-truths or semi-true or it's true but not like how you seem, it's the same thing I said with like factions with Sony. Every time something came out about factions, it wasn't Sony saying it, it was a leak. And the leak was always doom and gloom, worst case scenario, and everyone be up in arms. What is happening here? What are y'all doing? And then they would come out with their own statement to try to pretty it up, you know, something PR, very PR friendly. But the end scenario is still, yeah, that leak was true though. you just didn't want it to be said the way it was said, and you didn't want us to know it when we knew it.
That leak was true.
So look, I think there are some people who are still in denial of it, and allegedly, you know, the alleged leak, and it's just, this is the direction they want to go. Mm-hmm. So you have a choice. You know, you want to continue to play your games on the least, the hardware with the least exclusives and the least support, and even the platform holder keep telling you that you know, we don't care where you game, we don't care where you consume our content, or you can get just as many games and more elsewhere. It's up to you. We're open here in PC.
Our doors are never closed, huh?
Right, exactly.
Doors are never closed on PC.
All right, you ready to talk about this Developer Direct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Developer Direct is going to be on the 18th and wait, hold up. Yes, the 18th, which is a week from now, which is before the next show. So we'll definitely be talking about what we see on from the Xbox Developer Direct on next week's DPS. That said, we have 4 games that they were discussing, and it appears as if all 4 of these games will be released on Xbox Series X, Series S, and PC for now this year. Just those platforms this year.
I like how you said for now.
I gotta kind of throw that in there now, I guess. But
for now,
those 4 games is Aria History Untold, which is a strategy game. I don't have a trailer up for that because I didn't record it because I wasn't all that interested. But still, you know, I think, look, if I like strategy games, I'm just not in the mood for them right now. But if you're into strategy games, you might really want to jump on that. Hellblade 2 Senua's Sacrifice is going to be there, and I wouldn't be shocked if we got a release date for that. I kind of feel like that game might launch before summer.
It's going to be a problem.
Yeah, it better be a release date, but I kind of feel like, and let's just kind of talk about Hellblade while we're on that topic. I kind of feel like we're probably going to get a release date for it. And I kind of feel like that release date is going to be like April or May or something. Like, I feel like it will be released before the summer. What are your thoughts on Hellblade?
I do agree with you on that. I do think that game could be, either that game is going to be the spring game, which would be March, April.
Mm-hmm.
or it's going to be the September game. I don't think it's going to be like October and November. I think all keys are coming out that it's going to be the first game that releases. Because I do think that game, a lot of people been thinking about that game coming out late last year, but they ended up coming out with Starfield last year. And I also thought, remember when we talked about this, matter of fact, last year, when Starfield got delayed, we talked about, we said that's going to affect the whole release schedule for all their games, because they're not going to release two big games like that. Like they released Forza, but they did the same thing with Halo. They consider Forza like a additive instead of like one of those primary games, because they know it's a game that not everybody will play, but there's a subset of people that will just play just that game. So I was saying Hellblade could have been last year, but since they pushed a Starfield out and they pushed it to last year towards the end of the year, that put Hellblade being the game that comes out the beginning of this year. So now that I think about it, I do think that game's going to come out in March, April at the absolute early April at the latest.
I would say May might be the latest. I kind of feel like if they have a release date for Hellblade, it's definitely going to be, because if I recall last year, the way they had 3 games that
they had Redfall in May last year, right?
Yeah, and I believe they gave us a release date for Hellblade at the developer direct. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But they didn't have release dates for Forza Motorsport, and they didn't have it for Starfield wasn't even there. And so they had their whole thing for Starfield in the summer June showcase, and then we didn't get a release date for Forza until much later, I believe. So maybe at the June showcase or later, but it wasn't at this developer direct. So considering all 4 of the games are supposed to be there, we know the most about Hellblade. And so it would make sense if we're going to get a release date, we're going to get a release date for Hellblade. And that would be like how Redfall was a May game. Hopefully this one performs way better than Redfall did as far as critical and commercial success. But it would make sense it's in the spring. So I agree with you on that. Let's talk about Avowed.
Okay.
Avowed, I think for me, is probably the one game I'm most interested in seeing at this developer direct, because it's the one game I know that I'm interested in. Well, I think we probably know the least about Indiana Jones, because that's also going to be there. But
we have an idea what Indiana Jones. I mean, we know least about it, but we have kind of an idea what that game
right, because it's a licensed game, and you got it's definitely going to be in that Uncharted, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider kind of vein, right? Because those games are inspired by Indiana Jones. And it was hopefully I hope Machine Games was inspired by Naughty Dog and Crystal Dynamics and how they decided to make Indiana Jones. Because we ain't talking about Indiana Jones. Let me just get back to Avowed. Avowed is Avowed is in the Pillars of Eternity universe. I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed with the change in art direction from a more like dark toned, muted colors, a little bit less, a little bit more photorealistic kind of look to the initial trailer, teaser trailer.
The medieval look, basically.
Right, to what we see right here, which is a little bit more colorful. I don't really mind that. I just kind of minded some of the what I thought was really weird looking animations with some of the attacks and it. I thought that was a bit, because it started to kind of remind me of Skyrim, and I don't like Skyrim. But I do like Obsidian.
You and one of the few many.
Right. But I do really enjoy Obsidian. So I'm still really interested in this game. So I want to kind of see them kind of break down the systems, the RPG systems, how the world works, how what the premise of the game is, the plot and stuff. I really want to kind of see where that goes. And so to see whether I'm super interested in that. I think this will be their like fall game. I think this is coming out this year. And I kind of feel like this would be like a game that comes out this fall, like sometime in September. But I don't think they'll give us a solid release date. I think they'll just say like fall 2024, holiday 2024, something like that. What do you think?
For what you talking about for Obsidian
Avowed?
for Avowed?
Yeah.
I do think because that was what it was always going to be up to for me, was between Avowed and not Starfield and Ninja Theory with Hellblade. Those are going to kind of flip flop with each other, and I do think Obsidian. I don't think Xbox is really going to release a game in November. I do see September, because it seems like that was a good month for them. That's when they released Starfield. I think they released Forza in October, towards the end of October, if I remember correctly. So I don't think you're going to go low further than that. And the best time in my opinion, the most time probably to release would be September, if Ninja Theory with Hellblade comes out earlier in the year, mostly due to the fact that, especially with Xbox owning Activision and Blizzard, do they really want to have something out around Call of Duty? Because now, ever since they acquired them, they see 100% of what that game does
exactly.
during the
year. And this is going to be the first year that they can actually market Call of Duty for their platform in over a decade. So I can definitely see them, depending on when the this is going to be a Treyarch Call of Duty, right?
Yes, it's supposed to be like a Black Ops. It takes place, I believe, in not the Cold War, but it's another Black Ops game, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so they will know the release date before anyone else, and they're definitely going to try to craft their other games around that. So Call of Duty sometimes it's like October, November-ish.
It's always the end of October, last week of October, first week of November. That's the latest.
So yeah, I can see them, when it comes to Avowed and Indiana Jones, wanting to release them sooner.
Indiana Jones is going to be summer. I think Indiana Jones is going to be over the summer.
Yeah, I can see that. Because look, even though this is a licensed game, we gotta keep a buck about Indiana Jones. The last two movies bombed. Ain't nobody really checking for Indiana Jones like that. The IP was popular in the 80s. Okay, the 80s. That's 40 years ago. Almost 40 years ago since this movie came out. The lead actor is probably has a catheter to keep himself from peeing on himself. Like he's that old.
We are not going to talk about.
I'm just saying. Harrison Ford is ancient. You know,
the national treasure. Leave him alone.
He need to be in a museum like a national treasure.
He played a president that flew a plane.
Yeah, that was about 30 years ago. Anyway, look.
That was a good movie, though.
I don't think that the expectations as far as sales or as impact on Indiana Jones is as high as, say, what Blade is. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's a summer game. And then Avowed is like September. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to Avowed. And about Indiana Jones, let's discuss that real quick, because I want to talk about what I expect from it. And I can't look. I know Machine Games all their games have been first-person perspective shooters. The Wolfenstein games, and they're very good at those. And I think what they're underrated at is their stories. And the stories are very good. Even though they're a little goofy, they're a little crazy. You know, some of the stuff that happens in Wolfenstein games is so unrealistic. It's just kind of funny, but still, it's an entertainment. It's entertaining. That said, they can't be as creative as they want to be when you're working with a Disney IP. There's going to be some guardrails there. There's going to be some areas that you can't go, and that I still don't think that's really all that much of a concern. I think what more of the gameplay is what I'm concerned about. I think this is a game that should be in third person perspective. And I'm not saying that Machine Games needs to make a clone of Tomb Raider and Uncharted, but I think, like as I said earlier, those games took inspiration from you. You need to take some inspiration from them in this arena, in this form of media, because it works. And the Tomb Raider trilogy that Crystal Dynamics did, pretty good. The Uncharted games, even better. Like, it's not a slight to follow in those footsteps. And so I think that's what I'm looking for. If it's anything is in first person perspective, I mean, I think I would just take it if you using like a sniper rifle or something, and then it when you ADS it goes to first person perspective. I'll be fine with that. Outside of that, I think it all should be third person perspective. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how a first person perspective game with a whip will work. I mean, I can see in certain aspects of it, but the game, it's like I just don't see the game being played any other way but in third person. You know, where you can see your character, and it's all about, and I guess it just depends on what kind of gameplay you're going for. Like, Indiana Jones really wasn't truly about traversal, but I also think if you're going to marry, like, he did use guns in the movies and stuff. So guns, I do think if you're talking about gunplay,
my favorite part of Indiana Jones is when the guy pulls out a sword. He
said the true antithesis of you bringing a knife to a gunfight.
Oh, that's the favorite part of the movie. He's doing all this cuts and stuff, and then Indy just pulls out a pistol and just shoots him and just walks away.
It was great. My man Dan there had he did like a full slate of P90 while he was swinging that sword around, and he just got caved. I was like, yo, every time I see that scene, I laugh, bro. It's so fun. Cause wasn't that during Temple of Doom, I believe? Was that Temple of Doom? I think it was.
I can't remember. I liked the first. Okay, there was two. There was Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then what was the third one with Sean Connery?
Ooh, dang, you gonna get me with this one?
The third one with Sean Connery was not as good, but it was okay.
It was cool.
But then after that, the last two were just absolutely with Shia LaBeouf, and then that last one where, you know, like Harrison Ford about to actually like dislocate his hip trying to do
Lost Crusaders.
Yeah, like this just.
Oh my God, I'm looking at it. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusaders, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and then the Dial of Destiny was the last one.
Yeah, Dial of Destiny, that's it. Yeah, well, didn't the fourth one have like aliens or something? Like, it was just so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we got off topic for a second. I just, you were saying about the game.
No, I just think in general, if you're talking about, if you're not using a gun, or you're not like looking at items, you should be in third person. But if you pull a gun out, you should be able to play either third person or first person, or you could toggle between the two. I just think it should be a thing that you
okay. All right. So yeah, like it's a choice.
It's a choice, because
I'll take that too. Just as long as, because if that's a choice, I will stay in third person the entire time I play the game, and that's fine. That's fine. Like if you can toggle between the two, where, you know, like you can be in third person if you want, first person if you want. I just kind of hope that if that is the case, that they really kind of put the work in on animation, walking animations.
Well, they will have to. They will have to if that's the case.
Yeah, but sometimes when you see
How long they been
that be
working
a
on this game?
choice and the actual, I don't know for certain. Um, maybe that's something we find out next week as far as how long
Yeah.
they've been working on it. But sometimes I've seen where games where they give you full control to go from first or third person. The third person, like the motion matching of walking on like inclines or upstairs and stuff like that, or opening a door. They don't have like a lot of like, even on third party games, the animation does not look clean, doesn't look natural. It looks really outdated, like 2 generations ago kind of stuff. And so I don't want to see that. If you're going to allow people to choose one or the other, you need to really go in on that third person perspective and really make it look good. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, look, that is all we got, man. That's all the topics, bro. Anything that you I know we got through everything pretty quickly, huh?
Before 11 o'clock. 2 minutes before 11 o'clock. Shout out to you.
Hey man, I do what I do. I try.
Nah, yeah. No. Other than that, man, no, it's just wow. I was just going down the Indiana Jones rabbit hole. I'm really looking forward to this developer direct though. I'm just looking forward because I guess because Hellblade is the game that is my most anticipated game this year. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay.
And I want to know when it's coming because I want to do a replay. I want to play through Hellblade 1 again. I'm only one achievement short of getting the 1,000 on that, and it's stupid. I think I'm missing one of the runes. You know, the little runes that you had to do, like the little thing you had to look at all the runes to get the whole thing to light up. I'm missing one. And the thing is, there's no level select in that game. So if you miss it, you have to do it all over, play the game all over again to get it. So
yeah, that's why I haven't platinum Until Dawn, because it's like, Until Dawn, like you gotta get all the little totems and all of the clues, and it's like if you miss one in a chapter, you pretty much you there is no chapter select, like say in like Detroit Become Human or something like that. You it's frustrating. You pretty much gotta start over.
That's a very underrated game right there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That game is freaking incredible, bro.
Yeah, you know, David Cage is still, you know, David Cage, but yeah, it is a very good game.
He's definitely still David Cage. He definitely was in his bag in that one, but
yeah, you brought up replaying through Hellblade. You know how like right now I'm replaying through Final Fantasy VII Remake in anticipation of a rebirth at the end of February. Something about Hellblade makes me just, I am not at all interested in replaying that game again.
You don't want to hear voices in your head again?
I will watch a YouTube recap to catch me back up, but I am not playing that game again. I have just zero desire to play that first game ever again. Now I definitely want to play 2, and I'm going to definitely enjoy that, but and look, I do this all the time. Every time there's a new sequel come out, when Spider-Man 2 came out, I went and played through Spider-Man and Miles Morales before playing, and even the Spider-Man 1 DLC before playing Spider-Man 2. When Gears 5 came out, I played through Gears 1 through 4 again before playing Gears 5. I did it with Halo Infinite. I played through Halo Guardians again.
Nah,
but
bro,
this Hellblade, yeah, that was rough. But this Hellblade game,
that game again.
I just can't play Hellblade 1 again.
It's only like 7 hours if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, but it's just, you know, I didn't like the puzzles, and I'm not saying I thought it was a fine game.
There's no difficulty slider in that
game. I don't think
either.
so. I don't think so.
It goes based off of your ability in combat in that game. It scales to you.
Yeah, but you know, Yeah, I'm just not looking forward to playing it again. And I'll just like I said, I'll just do a recap of what the story, because I vaguely remember how the ending was. And I remember everything up till like I remember in the very beginning you got like three different like bosses that you had to take down before it kind of switched to the next section. It was very puzzle heavy with like really small combat sections in between those puzzles. I didn't like the puzzles. And then once you get past those bosses, you had to go to like a tree and go through these portals. And then there was like a real like section where it was just like it was complete darkness. And it was just complete darkness. And I really didn't like that section. And then there was the parts where there was a few more puzzles that weren't that bad, but then you get like after that, it was just nothing but combat. It was just nothing but fighting, which I thought was I didn't mind it because the combat was okay. I just thought it was kind of shallow, but there was just the change in pace from all these puzzles and a little bit of combat to just no puzzles and all combat sections where you're just fighting just waves and waves of enemies until you get to the end. I just thought that was an odd change. I ain't trying to play it again. I'm the sequel. I'm all in on the sequel, but the first one it's a decent game, but it's not, man.
You also got Final Fantasy that you're trying to finish going through too, because that comes out and I mean it'll be here before you know it. We're basically 7 weeks away from that game, basically 6 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to beat that game twice before I'm like officially done with it. So yeah, it'll probably be April before I really get that game out of my system. So
yep, can't wait. Gonna be awesome. I'm playing it on. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, I need to start my playthrough on Steam because I haven't started it yet for that game. I need to start that.
All right, well, Forte, let everyone know where to find you over the next week, and you dropped a video earlier this week. What else you got in the content pipeline?
Video tomorrow. It was gonna come out today, but I didn't like the audio quality, so I had to re-record it this morning before I went to work. So it's coming out tomorrow. It's basically thoughts on the developer direct that's coming up, and that's going to be the video for tomorrow. And once again, appreciate all the love and support on the last one. Guys really knocked it out of the park with that. For a person that had dropped a video in almost 7-8 months, it actually is doing way better than I thought. But no, man, with that, it is let me pull up channel members. But with that, you can find me at Gaming Forte at YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, and PlayStation. DPS next week on my channel. Gonna have a great time. And we're gonna be talking about we'll be talking about the developer direct next week on my channel. So make sure you have your opinions and everything and how Xbox and Microsoft did during that. And when it comes to channel members, which if this lets me scroll down and get to the channel members, there they are. Shout out to all you guys to support us in this way. We got FTW, Donnell Brown, Erodimus, Brat, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, Stardust Acero, Ramon Terrell, Hargy Chini, Corey Hill, SloMo Backslap, DJ Oris, and that guy Smitty. Really appreciate you guys supporting us once again in this way. And enjoy the games that you're playing. Enjoy your week. And thanks for showing up again. Yep. See you guys next week. Peace.
And for myself on the channel member topic, we got your boy Roy, Donnell Brown, J0387, Erodimus, Enrique, Hargy Shani, True Serum, Ramon Terrell, Homie One Kenobi, Gaming Forte, Corey Hill, Stardust Acero, and that guy Smitty. So we appreciate you guys for supporting us in this way. It looks like we got a couple people in the chat that's a little aggressive. It looks like. I mean, I was trying not to. No, it's just it looks like Enrique handled it. It's just like a couple of people that are basically trolling for attention or something. So they got their attention. Congratulations. By now. we're going to get out of here. Next week, DPS podcast will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as usual. We did run a little poll on the Twitter account to see if you guys were up to a potential move in day to Friday 9 p.m. and it looks like 60% of you said that Thursday was the day for you guys. So hey, we're going to stay right where we are. No change in the plans for the time and day of the podcast, but we still are working on the changes for the layout and the intro and all that good stuff. So that's still being worked on. Hopefully we'll be all finished with that by the end of the month, and you guys can see how it all looks, you know. But we'll get up out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and enjoy the rest of your week and play your games, man. Peace.
Peace.
Eyes of Guardian.
Wipe yourself off, man. You did.